This is News Desk, and you're welcome. Now, the bail application hearing of Kwesi Dakwa was on January 7, adjourned to today, 13th January. The adjournment was given after the Attorney General, represented by Cynthia Lamte, praised the court for time to study a new affidavit filed by lawyers for the accused. According to the prosecution lawyers, they were served with the new 34-paragraph affidavits late January 6, 2015, and were not able to thoroughly study its content. Now, we can get in touch with our correspondent on the ground for us, Eric Howard, to give us an update on this. Hello, Eric.
Hello, Kevin. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Tell us what's happened so far.
Okay, first of all, let me confirm to you that KKD will not be in court today. The information I picked up from one of his lawyers indicates that since this was in the court that remanded him in police custody, if the police can choose to bring him or not. But actually, the information I got was that KKD is currently at the police hospital undergoing some physiotherapy training. So he was not in court. But earlier, when the case was called, lawyers for KKD were not in court, so the trial judge had to postpone the hearing of the case to a later time when they are all present. So as I speak to you now, the lawyers have all represented, or the lawyers are in court now. The prosecution is in court, and now the case should be the hearing of the case should start anytime soon. But the judge called for a short recess, and they are all waiting to see what comes out there, as whether it will be granted bail or not.
Do we know why KKD is not in court today?
They just couldn't tell. They just couldn't tell anyone why he couldn't show up. We saw actually somewhere it happened to his brother because it really looked like we thought he was in, but he's not in court. The information that we gathered was that he's at a police hospital. So probably because of his condition, the police have decided that today they will not bring him to court. So the lawyer just made us know that he will not be in court today. So that they will be in court to represent him, and they will start the case in his absence.
How soon do you think this bail application hearing will take place?
Okay, right now everybody is ready. Both counsels have received the file, the affidavits and everything. So when the court comes back from its recess, we are expecting arguments from both sides, the defense side and the prosecution side, and we expect this argument to go back and forth. Probably it could last for an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, or even more. So once it's up to the trial judge to decide as to whether which of the cases that the lawyers have brought forward merited of being heard as to whether KKD must be granted bail or not. So we're just waiting for the judge to come out from his chamber, and we'll get to know how this case will unfold. But it means that when when the case was taken from the Carnation Magistrate Court and brought to the Human Rights Court, this is a higher court than the Carnation Magistrate Court. So what it means is that in the case that KKD denied bail, he will be remanded in prison custody while the trial of the substantive case at the Carnation Magistrate Court goes on. So right now he is in police custody and not in prison custody. So it's a dicey situation there. So for the lawyers, for the KKD lawyers, it's a real big deal because they must try to get their client out of the police custody so that he can be in the comfort of his home while going for the trial. Or if this trial lasts for a year, KKD will be in prison custody throughout the time of the trial, and that is what they're trying to prevent. Okay.
Very well, we'll leave it here for now and get back to you later on here on the program when the trial ends. Thank you very much, Curtis. Eric Curtis will join us with an update on the bail application hearing of Kwesi Dakwa at the Human Rights Court here in Accra. Just away briefly from this, where the bail application hearing of KKD is ongoing. Eric Curtis Howard has joined us with some updates. Hello, Eric. What do you have to tell us?
Yes, the latest update is the fact that the prosecution and the defense attorneys entered into the chamber of the trial judge, and they came out just about 2 minutes ago, and all they told the court was that the case has been adjourned to Thursday. As to the details, as to what was discussed in chamber, as to what was said and everything, officials are reluctant to give us any information as to what really transpired when they entered the judge's chamber. All they told us that on Thursday, when we come, definitely a ruling on that particular matter would be heard. But for now, they are unwilling to give us much information, though we are trying to get some interviews with one or two of the defense lawyers for KKD. Yeah, so that's the list at this time.
I see. Now, tell us about demeanor of these persons who entered the chamber of the judge.
Okay, Kevin, let me confirm one thing to you. What I'm seeing is that it's all smiles on their faces. Their composure and their demeanor suggests that they are confident about their client getting a deal, because they look confident. They smiling all over the place and everything. Well, we don't really know what happened in the judge's chamber, and they wouldn't tell us. And they said we should wait till Thursday. And even the judge even remarked that the media will have nothing to report about until Thursday. And so we're just waiting to see. We are trying to get the interviews. If they grant us that those interviews will speak. But until then, we're just waiting to see what the situation is here. I'm still around the court premises, and we are just trying to get one of them.
So again, take us through the interpretation of this adjournment. What does it mean for the bill application hearing?
Okay, what it means is that on Thursday, according to the judge, on Thursday there'll be a ruling. Right.
As to whether or not the bill will be granted.
Yeah, will be granted bill. Now, what really the interpretation has to do what was discussed in the judge's chamber, and that is what we want the lawyers to tell us, and that is what they are refusing to tell us, and that is what they are trying to hold to their chest until Thursday. It's like the whole thing after the meeting. It was like let's hold this information to our chest. It's like some cloud of secrecy. Let's hold it carefully. We shouldn't divulge any information to the media, not until Thursday. And that is what they are trying very hard to do. And we have our way of getting information from them. So we are also trying very hard to get that information. But both the defense attorneys, I must confirm, and I must say, look very, very confident. They are all smiles. They are all, confident that come Thursday they would get a bill for their client. And as we speak now, the prosecution have left. Some of the defense attorneys have also sat in their cars and left. So one is around. We're still waiting for him to get the interview.
Right. So he still stays in police custody.
Yes, he's still in police custody. He's still in police custody until Thursday. And Thursday will decide as to whether he will still remain there or he will leave the police custody.
Well, thank you very much for that information. Erica Howard joined us from the courts here in